What's up, YouTube? Got a street vibe video today. We're gonna put on a Amazon crash bar. I started to unpack it, but I got halfway done and decided I'd stop and show you guys. This thing was packaged really well. There's like this rubber stuff on all the corners. I took those off already and they're wrapped up. So this was packaged really well. I was impressed with that part of it, but I'm not used to unboxing stuff, so I forgot. Alright, so we're gonna get this thing put on. Alright, first we're gonna pop out these two 14 millimeters. And no, I'm not incredibly strong. I broke those loose already. I just had to move the camera to do it. Alright, and we gotta save those. Those are going back in. Alright, next we gotta take out the 3 Torx. 2 here for the foot peg and 1 up here for the rear brake. Those are T45s. There we go. That'll work. Alright, let's move to the other side. Alright, we're on the left side. And now we got to pull these 2 out for the left side foot peg. And my camera's almost on the ground, so I'm gonna not film me taking these 2 out. So there's plastic plugs in these 2 holes. I'm gonna pull these out. I think I'm just gonna get under there with a pick tool and then grab onto them with a pair of needle nose and twist them out. No, I couldn't find the pick tool. Yeah, it's not ideal using a razor blade. They don't really screw out, but these are the Christmas tree type dealios. So if you do screw them out, they will come out. But they're not exactly threaded. It's just that the hole they're pushed into is threaded. So they kind of work themselves out. She's out. And we got 4 holes exposed here, and we got all the holes exposed on the other side. So now we're going to set the bar in place. I put a bungee cord and took that other bolt out. So this is going to slide into place. So when I get these top ones started, so it'll hold it in place so I can get everything else lined up. Alright, let's take a look at the sides. Alright, I gotta try to get everything lined back up here now. So the bolt that came out of the brake, they did not send me one for. If that's not long enough, which it does not appear to be, I will just go up to the hardware store and get one of those. Okay, yeah, that's not gonna work. baby. You don't need much of this stuff. Come on. There we go. Yeah, I don't know how well that's showing up on the camera. But you don't need a whole lot. As you screw it in, it spreads itself around a little bit. And this is a 7/32 Allen. So you'll also need that socket. Oh, a little much. Want to know what too much looks like? That's what that looks like. Don't put that much on. Not super tight, but snug. Let's go check the other side. Alright, I measured the bolts that came out on this side, and these are actually long enough. So I'm going to reuse those, because my guess is they're a higher grade than what came with the crash bar. So now I just got to get the holes lined up. And I took the, well, you might be asking why I took the black things out. Even if you're not, I guess I'll tell you. I wanted, on my hands all the way. I wanted the crash bar to sit flush against the frame. Those things didn't stick out a lot, but they did stick out a little bit, and I didn't want it to be enough to put this thing in a bind. So that's why I pulled them out, so it'll be a nice flush fit between the flat part of the frame and the flat part of the crash bar. And now I can stick a screwdriver in there and help line the holes up. So this side's not going together quite as easy as the other, but that's pretty common. The first bolts you put in tend to go in easier because there's more play in it. So, well, we'll get her. We just got to wiggle it around a little bit, take it easy on the threads. Holes are tight. I'm going to go around the other side and tighten up those. All right. these up over here on the right side. Alright, I can actually feel the bolt on the back of the master cylinder for the rear brake. So that's going to be long enough. The two longer ones they sent me here, I can feel them sticking out the back. Probably could have left them just like I did the other side. You know, one way you can always increase the quality of some of these Amazon products is to go up to your hardware store and get grade 5 or grade 8 bolts. I may do that someday. Back these out, put some grade 8s in there, since they do hold the foot pegs. But anyhow, the right side's tight. Now I just got to tighten up the two bolts up on the frame behind the tire. You cannot get a socket on these. I don't know if you can tell on the camera, but the horn's in the way. In case you're wondering why I'm doing this the hard way with a wrench. That would be why, but that's all right. All right. Well, that's it for the actual crash bar mount of the bike. I can put on the extensions. So I think the idea on giving me the new bolts was to reuse the factory bolts for these, because they didn't send me that. So that kind of messed up my plan for not replacing them on the other side. These obviously go in really easy. Alright. Cool. So just to recap what we did here, we got the two bolts up top that mount into the frame. There's 3 bolts that sandwich the crash bar to the frame on the right side. 1 goes in the master cylinder, 2 go in the foot peg mount. And then on the left side of the bike, there's just the 2 in the foot peg mount. You could probably put something in one of these 2 holes if you wanted to, but I might do that later, I don't know. Install took about an hour, which included me messing around with the camera. Probably 40 minutes if I would have just, you know, hit it hard. I sat on the bike and rode it around just a little bit just before I pulled it back in here, and I put my feet up on there, and it seems pretty comfortable for a foot peg mount. It gives me a chance to stretch my legs out with a different seating position. I left the mid mounts because my wife rides this bike sometimes. I don't ride it all that much. I've also got a street glide that I spend most of my time on. But I don't stunt the bike. This crash bar really is just protected if it falls over at low speeds. So we'll try to get a review video out after her and I have both had a chance to ride it. I don't know if she'll even be able to reach it, but we'll get something out later here in a couple weeks or a month or so and let you guys know so far how it's going. And I kept talking about in the video that it was a Amazon crash bar. This actually came off of eBay. Manufacturer's TCMT, which you can get on Amazon also. But I just wanted to let you know I got it from eBay.